The president doesn't get to decide who is a citizen and who isn't really American. Hi, I'm Deborah Archer. I'm president of the ACLU, and I'm also a law professor at NYU School of Law. I'm here to answer your questions about birthright citizenship. We got over 100 questions. Going to try to get to as many as I can, but let's jump right in. What is birthright citizenship, and when was it established? Birthright citizenship is the constitutional principle that nearly every child born on U.S. soil is automatically a U.S. citizen, regardless of their parents' status, wealth, or origin. It is really one of the most democratic commitments in our Constitution and the clearest statement of who we are as a country. I'm a first-generation American citizen. My parents were not citizens when I was born, and I'm a citizen today because of birthright citizenship. If you are born here, you are part of we, the people. No second class, no conditional membership, no caste system. When did President Trump sign his executive order about birthright citizenship? On January 20th, 2025, his first day back in office, President Trump signed an executive order to limit birthright citizenship.
Birthright. That's a big one.
As written, Donald Trump's executive order would deny citizenship for children born in the United States to a father who is not a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, and born to a mother without lawful status or present on a lawful but temporary basis. It's not an exaggeration to say this entire effort is disgraceful. Donald Trump is trying to narrow the 14th Amendment's citizenship clause, claiming that children born to parents who are not U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States under the Constitution and therefore aren't citizens. Why is the Trump administration targeting birthright citizenship at all? And I think this is a really important question because it's important for us to be able to connect the dots between all of the actions that we're seeing across this administration. This executive order does not exist in a silo. Since returning to office, Trump has gutted congressionally mandated asylum protections, expanded immigrant detention and deportations, and sent massed armed federal agents against immigrants and even U.S. citizens. It's part of a broader pattern to demonize and terrorize people who are immigrants. But the president doesn't get to decide who is a citizen. That's why we're going to the Supreme Court. What is the current status of the ACLU's lawsuit in response to Trump's executive order? The suit that's currently before the Supreme Court is a nationwide class action lawsuit, and it was filed on behalf of all children born in the United States who would have their citizenship denied by the executive order, regardless of the state in which they're born. The court will hear oral arguments in the case on April 1st. There's no set date for the court's ruling, but typically we could expect a decision early in the summer. To date, the administration's argument has failed in every single court. Judges across the country have consistently held that birthright citizenship is not a policy choice, but a constitutional guarantee embedded in the 14th Amendment. What role has birthright citizenship played in American history? Birthright citizenship has been foundational to the American project of equality and belonging. After the Civil War, Congress adopted the 14th Amendment to make clear that citizenship would not depend on race, ancestry, class, or parentage, and helped really transform formerly enslaved people into full members of the political community. That principle was reaffirmed in 1898 when the U.S. Supreme Court held in United States versus Wong Kim Ark that children born in the United States to immigrant parents are citizens under the Constitution. And for more than a century since, birthright citizenship has served as a constitutional bedrock, rejecting the idea of second-class status and ensuring that we do not recreate the caste system the 14th Amendment was meant to dismantle. Can an executive order change the Constitution? No. A president cannot rewrite the Constitution with an executive order. Only a constitutional amendment, not executive action, could change that. How would the executive order, if allowed to go into effect, be implemented? That's a question that no one really knows, because the 14th Amendment and over 100 years of congressional statutes have relied on birthright citizenship as settled law. What is clear is that if Donald Trump gets his way, the consequences would be sweeping and devastating. Babies born in the U.S. to non-citizen parents, including long-term work and educational visa holders, DACA recipients, and people with humanitarian protections would no longer be recognized as citizens at birth. That would leave hundreds of thousands of U.S.-born children in legal limbo every year and create a permanent underclass with no vote, no voice, and no protection. Over time, the harm would deepen. Any system that ties a child's citizenship to their parents' immigration status would invite discriminatory assumptions about who is and who isn't really American. As we have seen from federal agents targeting U.S. citizens for immigration arrests based on their race, policies like this would amplify racial profiling in hospitals, schools, and government agencies, undermining equal protection and deepening divisions in communities across the country. What can be done in the meantime? There's so much that you can do, whether it's adding your name to our display at the Supreme Court on the day of oral arguments, signing the petition on our website, or simply talking with your neighbors about the fundamental principle of birthright citizenship. We cannot allow this abuse of power to go unanswered. We all have a role to play because this affects all of us. What is your favorite song, podcast, radio show to listen to pump yourself up? This is actually an easy one for me. I don't have a particular song, but if I need a little bit of pumping up, I listen to Jill Scott. I hope that folks will remember that our rights have meaning only if we fight to protect them, not just in an election year, but each and every day in every way that we can to show up, to rise up and use the power that is invested in we the people. If you have any other questions, please drop them in the comments below, and please remember to like and subscribe.